The Duggar family are by far the most dangerous and decrepit family channel I have ever come across, with the father in particular, Joseph Duggar, being such a degenerate that I don't think he should ever see the light of day for both his parenting practices and also his many crimes against children. All of which we are, of course, going to be covering in this video. Before that, though, be sure, of course, to subscribe to the channel because I would really appreciate it. Like, really, you'd make me so happy. Please, just do it. Like, just subscribe right now or I'll cry. Thank you. Okay, as always, let's begin with a brief overview of who these people are then. I guess we'll begin with their website because for some reason, every crap family channel has like a whole website dedicated to them now. I believe they stopped updating this website in 2024. July the 11th was the last sort of thing I can see from them 2 years ago. And they were steeped in controversy at that point, let alone now. Anyway, they've got a page here introducing the entire family. Let's see how many kids they are. I'm sure a reasonable number, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 or... Nope, try 20 and counting. Well, apparently, allegedly counting. I don't think this guy's getting busy anytime soon in terms of pregnancy stuff. Obviously, he's not the one getting I don't think they're having any more children. I don't know why I said it that way. Look at these descriptions, by the way. They have like a little description for every child, like their video game characters. Energetic, full of life, and loves being outdoors. He is our great nephew, and we are so happy to have him as part of this family. It's like, of course, you'd say, imagine if one of these descriptions was like, you know what, this is like the little rat dog creature of the family of the group. We don't like this one, actually. I think it'd be better off if he died. Actually, we regret having this one, to be honest. You wouldn't be very good fat. I mean, you're already not a good fat. You know what? Maybe do that. It will add a bit of spice to your content. I mean, you already basically do it. You're just not public about it. So, yeah, more on that later. But yeah, they have 19 children, 10 boys and 9 girls. And then the one that we just read out is their one nephew, I guess, and that counts as the 20th. It sounds to me like they just couldn't be bothered to have another kid and went, fuck it, let's just bring the nephew in and say we have 20 now because we need a nice round number. So are these all biological children? Fuck me, this poor woman. I tell you what, to give her credit, she looks fucking fantastic, especially after 19 pregnancies. Oh wait, do they count the in-laws as children? No, that can't be right. No, yeah, they differentiate between the in-laws and their actual children. Anyway, this father is Jim Bob Duggar, and the lady is Michelle. They say that they have a special place in their hearts for family. What the fuck is this? A special place in your hearts for families. It's like families is pretty universally seen as quite a special thing. Oh, you know what? I've just got this thing where I love to just eat food. You know what it is? You just sound like a really boring dating profile. The way to my heart is food. I'll fall for you if you trip me up. A fucking interesting person, you. Got a special place in my heart for family. Is this Winnie the Pooh? Like, what the fuck is going on here? As you can see from their fantastic Instagram, they have over 1 million followers. I'm sure it was a lot more than that at some point as well. They just post updates every now and then. Again, though, they haven't done anything for about 203 weeks. Fuck me. Again, this will all make sense once we realize how much of a degenerate this dad is. I'm not talking degenerate, so I mean like legally convicted multiple time degenerate of child molestation type. That's the sort of thing. That's who we're dealing with here. And then you've got this lovely channel, short videos made and released by the Duggar kids of TLC's hit TV series, 19 Kids and Counting, which we will have a look at later. Don't you worry. That TV series was, I guess, like that was like the thing for this channel. That was their big break, I suppose. And they put out promotional videos like whatever the fuck these are, I guess. Oh my god, look at this like stock intro thing from 10 years ago. Quite nostalgic, actually.
Happiness is to know the Savior living a life within his favor, having a change.
What is this, man? What is this what is the camera? What is the fucking angle here? Why have they used like a fisheye lens? He's just walking through the park. There's no need for all this, man. There's a whole album. Fuck me. If this gets copyrighted and they take my money from this, I'm gonna fucking break something. In fact, I'm gonna be so mad you personally will be in danger.
Savior, happiness is the Lord. Ole, olo, tie, olo, olo, tie, olo, tie, olo, tie.
Alright, no, that was pretty impressive, actually, that bit. I'll give him that. That was actually pretty good. I couldn't do that. I take it back. This song is it's a decent tune, this. This is like the Big Doug family, though. The Big Duggar family. The official page.
Congratulations, John and Abby. We're so excited for y'all and just excited to see what the Lord's going to do in your life. It's a great time, and we're glad to share the moment with you.
What the fuck was... What is... This is every video on their channel, by the way. It's just them congratulating people who are getting married or having birthdays or something. Why are these public videos? What is going... This is... I don't know. It's very confusing, but it was 7 years ago, I guess. Obviously, the reason that I'm talking about them here is because very recently, Duggar was arrested for... Oh, man. I can't even... It's like the sort of thing... You know what? I'll put it this way at this point in the video. Charges of lewd and lascivious behavior involving children, unfortunately. And this was March 18th, 2026, not even a month ago by this point. But I feel like we need to cover all this shit first, because we need to establish that it's not just a one-off instance. Not that that would make it okay by any means, but they have a whole history of being horrible. Especially this fucking Joseph. Man, he's such a wrong'un. Here's the show, 17 Kids and Counting. It was later retitled to 19 Kids and Counting, and then I believe retitled to 20 Kids and Counting. Very creative titling there, I think. Episode Guide 245. Fuck off. How many episodes of this thing are there? Season 15, Episode 3. What? What the fuck? No! You're taking the piss. 15 seasons in what, 7 years? 2 seasons a year? These are all incredibly low rated like this show is rated 2.9 on IMDb. Oh my god, there's more. Is there more? Yes, okay, so this show here, Counting On, was one that got cancelled because Josh Duggar was caught with CP on their, I shouldn't be laughing at all. They were caught with CP, possession of CSAM, I guess. I don't even know why I keep using I guess. That giving them way too much grace. Like, no, he was caught with CSAM. He's a fucking disgusting piece of shit! Although at least something good did come out of it, right? Because the show was cancelled. I can't believe this is actually a show that people watched, man. There's more, by the way. In case you... How much Duggars do you need? This is like going to a fucking Indian restaurant and just ordering Peshwari naan and regular naan with a fucking naan milkshake on the side. It's like, okay, that's enough fucking naan! It's not even the same thing, because at least naan is delicious and you can have it in small quantity. There's nothing good about this. Like, even in the smallest amount of quantity, you don't want any of this in your life. But there is more. Here's a docuseries on the Duggars titled Happy People, I guess. Shiny happy people, in fact. Duggar family secrets. How many secrets could possibly be left after... like 500 episodes of documentation. There is nothing secret. There is nothing sacred anymore, man. It's got heavy and dark themes. Details of the family and their scandals unfold. Yet the scandal is that someone in your fucking family got caught with CP. Don't you worry, guys. No self-respecting family channel like this wouldn't also put out a myriad of different books to read. A love that multiplies. That is just fucking lovely, isn't it? An up-close view of how they make it work. I don't know if they did make it work, actually, because there's a worryingly significant portion of this family that are convicted sexual fucking deviants, unfortunately. I wouldn't exactly call that making it work. And it's not as though the parents or like the other people in the family are all fucking peachy and dandy because they don't happen to be sexual deviants, or at least they weren't caught being sexual deviants. But okay, cool, you haven't got CP on your phone. Fucking well done. You're still a piece of shit. Obviously, they don't go for the whole family. The kids have nothing to fucking do with this, but I'm talking about Jim, Bob, and Michelle, who are, by the way, responsible for a lot of the reasoning as to why these, the people were allowed to get away with it. We'll get onto that later, though, because the way they sort of treated these, I guess, tendencies towards attraction to younger people is abhorrent and unhinged. I don't know about you guys, but I want to fucking buy this book. There's so many of these books, man. Growing Up Duggar. Yeah, I grew up Doug, but they grew up Duggar. This one's exclusive, right? The 4 oldest daughters. I wonder where the Duggars are from, because I actually don't know. If it's Utah, I swear to fucking God. No, Arkansas. Okay. That's new, innit? They're from Tontitown. Big up all the Tontitownians watching this video. They're also not Mormon, by the way. They're independent Baptist, which I think it means they don't belong to any specific branch of the Baptist faith. This is important later, by the way, because some of the conservative views that come alongside said Baptist faith are, oh man. For now, though, I actually do want to have a look at some of the clips from these many shows. You gotta remember here, we're not gonna get everything because there's 500 fucking episodes at least of everything they've ever done. And I don't know about you, but I am not about to sit here and watch every single episode to research for a video. But there are some clips that have gotten quite popular on TikTok and have done the rounds there, especially in light of the recent scandal, if you want to call it that.
Michelle and I love to kiss. We love to hug.
You bend your knees a little bit like this. Bend your knees a little bit.
And we do that in front of our kids. And I think it's important for our kids to understand that mommy and daddy love each other.
You guys watch this. Don't try this at home. Okay. It's after you're married. Okay, you ready?
I think he just teases the ones that are in a courtship to just kind of tell them this is what you've got to look forward to.
No. Look. If you want to kiss your wife or your husband in front of your kids, That's good. That's fine. That's healthy, even. As long as it's not, like, too passionate a kiss, right? You know what I mean here. If you want to use, like, your stupid in-jokes and your baby talk or whatever the fuck you do in a healthy relationship around your kids, that is lovely, in fact, because it's like a healthy way of showing them, hello, this is what a healthy relationship looks like. But that only works to a certain extent. Like, even if you're fucking each other, as much as it might be the healthiest, juiciest, most amazing sex that the planet has ever fucking seen, it's not something your children should be seeing as amazing as it might be. As much as you might want to tell them, hey, this is what you got to look forward to, I don't know, there's other ways to do it. Maybe don't dry hump your wife on the golf course.
I read in the paper the other day that 97% of couples have premarital sex. And that's staggering.
Well, you guys can't kiss yet, but you can hold hands.
That's right.
Your first
We'll do the
kiss-
kissing.
We'll do the kissing.
Feel the urge to kiss, just tell us and we'll kiss.
You guys will get to do that on your wedding day.
That's right. That's right. And James, you can sit between them if you want to.
Michelle was married, like, I think she was pregnant when they got married, though. Not that I don't think it matters. Like, not that I couldn't care less, really. I can't believe this is something that people actually still care about, by the way. It's just so outdated. Like, fair enough, if that's your jam, that's your jam, but it's not fucking staggering, is it? It actually makes, what's the word? Complete and utter sense. Oh, this is Josh, by the way, the one who had a CP on his system. So, yeah, good guy, really good. I want to hear more about morals and ethics from Josh. Premarital sex, no. Boo, we don't like that, but child sexual abuse material, oh yes! More of that, please. Honestly, it's great logic, unreal logic.
Josh has moved out of the house. Have you cut the financial cord with him?
Oh, definitely. When Josh said I do, that meant the cords are cut and it is leave and cleave.
What did he say I do to? Was it the wedding or was it the question, do you have CP on your phone from the judge? I do. Oh, God. To be fair, the second he says I do, that makes sense why you'd remove him from your household. By the way, that isn't what happened, by the way. Because Josh Duggar, people knew about this attraction that he had, I guess, and they didn't do anything about it. In fact, they almost encouraged it. We'll get onto that later, though. I want to watch more of these clips so that we get a good feel of what this family is really like.
Or you're your own man. And you're gonna fly, and you're gonna fall sometimes because we all do. But he's ready. He's ready to be his own man and his own family. And I know that there's gonna be those times where they're gonna be living on love only and struggling along, and that's okay because that's a good thing.
I don't think they're doing too well at the moment for a myriad of different reasons.
I am pleased with the man that Josh has become, and I think he's gonna do great things in the world.
You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
Oh, good meme, that. Really funny. The fact that he's saying all this, by the way, with full knowledge of what Josh Duggar was interested in, and also what Josh did to his sisters, which is something that we'll get to later, that's what's truly staggering, not that premarital sex is a thing.
It's important to kind of talk about the boundaries we set for ourselves, with the parents, and then they can kind of help us stay accountable with it, so.
Perfect. Yeah, there it goes. Oh, my, almost.
You are really good at this game.
Hey, is it too young?
Why replay it? Why'd you replay it? And why is that funny? Why is she laughing? That's the shittest joke ever. If I whip out that fucking maneuver on a date, then I give whoever I'm dating full permission to slap me across the fucking face. My stupid face. In fact, I'd be getting off lightly with a slap on the fucking face. Got slapped by a Cantonese girl once when I was 6 years old, because I tried to go home and learn Chinese so that she could like feel less left out, I guess. But then I learned the wrong I learned Mandarin. I had no idea what the fucking conflict was. I was 6 years old. Came to school, started speaking in really broken Mandarin. She slaps me across the fucking face and she just walks away because she doesn't know how to cuss me out or anything. Yeah, she really didn't like Mandarin or China very much. And at the time, I thought it was uncalled for. But now, just watching this clip, I feel as though I deserved it. And I'm not even the one who said this stupid fucking quip that he made here. But just bearing witness to it, it's like, I feel like I deserve a slap just for that. So thank you, Yue. Her name was Yue.
Public display of affection.
Michelle and I love to kiss. We love to hug.
Bend your knees a little bit like this.
We've already seen this. I don't want to see this again. No, it's not. We're not watching this again.
Poor Jessa. She's in charge of the laundry with up to 10 loads a day. Jessa needs some.
How old is Jessa? How old is Jessa? Sorry. 33 years old. So how old was she here? 33, 20... No. Yeah, okay, sorry. It's really like, I just started, I'm so fucking immature, man. The narrator said 10 loads a day, and I just started chuckling. It's just the way he says it, man. He's like so matter of fact. It's like, this is like TikTok voice before TikTok was even a thing.
Even though we're 9 times the size of an average family, we somehow make it all work.
Is that what, is that like an intro or promotional image? How are there 500 episodes of this, by the way? Genuinely, there's so many episodes. What the fuck is going on in these videos? Also, what's the point of having children if you're gonna immediately just treat them like they're adults, like doing all the laundry and shit? That's not a child's job. Obviously, yeah, a little chore every now and then, but to do all the laundry for all 19 of your fucking children is insanity.
Hey, is this your guys' leftovers?
Yep.
So there was some leftover rice and beans, and I think some beef was in there too.
I think it all still looks good. So, I might throw these in and get them heated up. Have some extras.
This tastes awful.
I know, it's not real guacamole.
Sorry, what is this?
I don't know.
This tastes like it's been in the fridge for a long time.
Well, I think there may be some more. I found some in there. You can throw it out if you want to.
That guacamole was so bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how long has that food been in the fridge? It's not really cooking if you just heat up leftovers. Like, you have no idea how they even got there. How many fridges does this family have, by the way? Because there's no way one is gonna be enough.
Sorry, Si, but this has to stay.
I've never tasted guacamole that bad. It must have been left in that fridge for a long time.
Wait, she's never had guacamole before. How uncultured is this family, man? Never had guacamole. Have any of these people eaten anything that isn't a burger? How the fuck have you never eaten guacamole? I can't get over that. What the fuck?
You do tons of guacamole, or you like a little bit of guacamole?
Which?
I got a little bit here for you. I found some.
Did you buy some?
No, I didn't buy it. I found
You
it.
made it. You found it.
Yeah, no, I found it.
That makes so much difference.
Yeah, I found it.
Josiah doing leftovers, that is typical. His love language is food. So his mom and dad would go on a date and he'd always say, bring me leftovers. So that's just Josiah leftovers.
Good.
So I thought it was sweet of him to do it. And even though it was leftovers of some sort, it was very sweet. He was trying to make it authentic because I am a little Salvadorian. So I like that food.
There's no thought behind that. How is that sweet? She's trying so hard to like make it sound positive for the camera when like there's no one's gonna be happy with that. It's like, fair enough, if you treat it as, oh, we're just getting by, let's have some fucking leftovers because why not? That's one thing. But if it's like, you know what, I'm gonna treat you to a spectacular meal. I've got some leftovers for a meal that I have no idea how the fuck it got there or how long it's been there.
Before the wedding night.
Oh god, okay, so, how do I explain this one? So Jim Bob has visited his son's wedding. Very exciting moment, I'm sure we can all agree, for parents and children and just people all across the globe, right? A wedding is a joyful, momentous occasion in anyone's life. And he has decided that now is the appropriate time, hours before ceremony, to give him the birds and the bees talk, as well as a book on before the wedding night, which it's not even the wedding night, it's hours before, this is the wedding day now. At least I think it might be, maybe a few hours, like, might be the night. It could be the night, to be fair. But like, what the fuck, is he just gonna read the book now? Now, fuck all the plans you had before your wedding. We're not, fuck them all off. There's nothing you could possibly be doing. Whatever I give you, this book here, that looks like it was made on fucking MS Paint, is more important than whatever you have going on.
Definition of normal inner.
Yes.
It was
Oh, that's the child molester as well. Good. Very funny. Yeah, nice. Funny.
quite defining of a lot of the things that you need to understand. And I think really reality is a lot of people don't learn that.
I think it's so important for the man to learn to cherish his wife and for him to realize that it takes a lot longer for her to kind of get in the mood and stuff after they're married versus a man is instant on, instant off, but a woman is like, it takes time.
What does that even mean? What does that even mean? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know as much about women as Jim Bob, but I feel like if you're in like a loving relationship, whether you're a man or a woman, and you've not, you know, done anything sexual for the entire relationship, and you get married, you'd both want to engage in that, right? Unless, I don't know, one of you just has no interest in it, I guess. But like, typically, I think it would be like a mutual interest.
This is a book that Dr. Ed Wheat, who was my doctor growing up, wrote, and he counseled Michelle and I before we got married, and taught us everything we know. And so if I give this to you, you'll know everything.
Wait, oh fuck, Jesus. What do you mean he taught you everything you know? Surely part of everything you know came from, I don't know, doing it yourself or experiencing it yourself, not because a doctor told it to you. Now I'm giving you this book, you will know everything that we know. What does, oh God!
I think I kind of understand how it works.
Yeah.
I think I learned that.
It's kind of like Legos.
Yeah.
I don't know if it says it doesn't have pictures or anything, but it's got.
Oh man, no, I'm joking.
That's good.
No. I got enough. I'll have a working model, right?
Yeah.
No pictures necessary.
No, I think the main thing, Josh.
Fuck me, this is terrible. This is so bad. It's like Legos. Yeah, no wonder he sees it that way. This goes in there, and then a person comes out. It's magic! There's no care for what that actually entails or what should, you know, be done before or after. Tell you what, that 10 loads a day statement from earlier has a whole different meaning now.
It's been 60 days, so 2 months since I've seen Derek. And today the whole family is going to greet Derek, who is coming back from Nepal.
She takes it back. She's waiting at the bottom, I'm sure.
I'll be glad when you guys can talk.
Me too. Trust me.
No sight yet.
Go, Jill.
I can't go.
Go, Jill.
I can't cross the line.
Go, Jill.
I can't cross the line.
Wait, what happened? What happened that's bad here? This is like pretty conservative. If you've not seen someone that like you love for that long, this is like nothing compared to what most people would be doing, I feel. What could possibly be the issue here? All right, I'm gonna let it play out.
Bless their hearts. They gave a big hug, but it wasn't, I think intentions were to do a side hug, but I think they both were caught off guard. And so, anyway, needless to say, I'm sure they won't let that happen again.
What? You can't even give your partner a hug until marriage, unless it's a side hug. This is not real, man. There's no way this is... They do not think like this when the cameras are off. Not a fucking chance. You cannot be dry humping your wife in public and then not allow your children to give anything other than a side hug to their partners.
Ew, I missed you so much.
I think they end up kind of giving a little frontal side hug.
I love you.
Even that is too much for him. Oh my God! What is wrong with this? If he watches this and feels some sort of sexual feeling from it, I think he's the problem. That says way more about him than it does them.
I love you so much. I don't think we were necessarily surprised that it was a little more than a side hug on this reunion. Second, messed up deal.
This is fucking insane. I cannot believe what I'm watching right now.
It was good. I enjoyed it.
It was good. I enjoyed it.
Side hug would be when two people wrap their arms around each other and give each other a hug from the side versus a frontal hug of pushing themselves together on the front, and I think everybody can figure that out on their own.
What is he saying? I think everyone can figure that out on their own. Is he trying to imply that because both of your genitalias are facing towards each other, it makes it, like, inherently sexual? I don't know about you guys, but when I hug my parents, it's usually a frontal hug. I don't even... Why would that cross your mind? I've hugged school teachers from the front. So unless those school teachers were all fucking predators and also gay, then there's nothing inherently sexual about a frontal hug. This guy's fucking insane.
There was a particular style of child training called blanket training.
You put the kid on a blanket, probably...
Okay, this is important actually, because this is like a completely different look on the Duggar family that is different from how they present themselves. So this is the docuseries as opposed to their sort of, whatever you'd call it, I guess, documentation of how they ran their family, managed by them. This is like a third party coming in and exposing the whole facade, I suppose.
Month-old, and you put something they want just outside of reach off the blanket, and when they go to reach for it, you hit them. And if they continue to reach for it, you hit them again. The idea is you're breaking the rebellious spirit they are born with.
So blanket training was also covered in Michelle Duggar's book.
I would focus on blanket training, calling out, "Okay, boys, it's blanket time. Oh, isn't this fun? Come pick a toy so we can have blanket time. We're gonna practice obey mama. Sit really still and look at me with big old smile. Wanna see that smile now? No wiggles. Be still.
That's fucking insane that they were literally just talking about this sort of thing in their books, like openly discussing child abuse. I say it's mental, it really isn't. Like, this is standard for these channels. Treating them like dogs. That's what you do with a dog, not a baby. Even dogs, it's like, if I had a dog and they were reaching for a toy, I'd be like, oh, you fucking son of a bitch. Yeah, go right ahead, man. Go get your toy, you all bummed out. Then I'd give him a big ol' hug, but not from the front. Not with my dog. Too far that. Hey, imagine that, a frontal hug with a dog. Oh, should be an arrestable offense in my opinion. All right, now I feel like we should go over the actual accusations that Josh Duggar has faced. I say accusations, the charges and crimes that he has committed over the years. Now, there were a few articles released about everything, but because it was so long ago and a lot of these articles were shite and like, you know, the people making them, it was very sort of celebrity gossipy in a way that isn't as popular nowadays, so a lot of them have been taken down. We are going to look at it through the Wikipedia, but this is all veritable. It's not like false or anything. Wikipedia is a wonderful website. So yeah, just bear in mind that when I read these out, it's not like a normal video of mine where I'm reading out accusations. No, I'm reading out things that it has been verified this man has done. That is that is so important to know here, by the way. Duggar described his family as the epitome of conservative values. Okay, well, maybe we should just bear that in mind for what we learn about his family later on in this video. And what we already know, to be fair. Okay, here we go. 2002 to 2003. So this is just as I was being born, in fact. As a young teen, Josh touched the breasts and genital region of his sisters on multiple occasions while they were sleeping, and sometimes when they were awake. 4 of the molestation victims were Duggar's siblings. He had reached under the dress of a younger sister who was on his lap, cornered a sister in the laundry room to reach under her clothing, and touched a much younger sister who, according to the Duggars, didn't understand she had been improperly touched. The 5th victim was a babysitter. Now, I'm sure we can all agree, at 14 years old, undeniably, this is a really shitty thing for someone to do, and at 14, you probably should know better, but at the end of the day, it's very difficult to get angry purely at the 14-year-old, as very reasonable as it is to get mad at them, and completely ignore the parents at that point. Because at 14 years old, if you're displaying behaviors like that towards your sisters of all people, then your parents are fucked up in one way or another. So Jim Bob and Michelle, in my opinion, have a lot to answer to here. So let's see what they did, with their epitome of conservative values. His parents said they learned of Josh's sexually abusive behavior in March 2002. The following July, Josh admitted to molesting one of his sisters, and his parents disciplined him at home. His confession was not reported to the police. In March 2003, the parents learned of additional incidents and victims, and Jim Bob brought the issue to their church elders and to their closest friends, Jim and Bobby Holt. The Holts informed their daughter, Kaylee, whom Josh had been courting. She wrote an angry note about the matter and stored it between the pages of a book. So no actual proper therapy, no police involvement, nothing. Just a couple of church elders in their really weird evangelical religious teachings, I suppose, which are known for treating women and victims amazingly, I'm sure we can all agree. Josh was ultimately sent away from home for 3 months. Jim Bob told police that during this time, Josh stayed at the Veterans Affairs Hospital in Little Rock, Arkansas, allegedly attending a counseling program run by a Christian ministry that involved physical labor. However, Michelle Duggar would later tell police that Josh was not involved in counseling, instead working under a family friend to help remodel the building. In Jill Duggar's memoir, Counting the Cost, she says her parents told her that Josh had a temporary construction job with family friends. Don't worry, folks, it gets a lot worse, but even just from what we have now, this is not a suitable reaction to what he was doing. Like, if your kid does something like that to your daughters, then you should be so fucking worried of the monster that you've created and could potentially become. Like, you need to seek all the professional help necessary. This family has money. They can do things outside of the spectrum of what the fuck they're doing here, instead of just, what, sending him over to a construction job? Doing a bit of, what, unpaid labor? Obviously, a punishment is necessary, but you also need to make it clear to him why what he did was fucked up to prevent him from doing it again. Because, like, from what we've seen here, we don't have any indication of anyone telling him that what he did was like an unforgivable crime, and that he needs to wind his fucking neck in before he gets himself and everyone into more trouble. They just, what, sent him to pick things up. In July 2003, after Josh returned home, and 16 months after his initial confession to his parents, Jim Bob took him to meet Joseph Truman Hitchens, an Arkansas state trooper and family acquaintance. According to Josh and his parents, the meeting was the first time any law enforcement authority was made aware of the abuse. Under Arkansas state law enforcement officers as mandated reporters are required to alert the Arkansas Child Abuse Hotline when learning of sexual abuse. However, Hitchens did not take any official action. He reportedly gave Josh a stern talk. Now, this Hitchens character is a whole different can of worms who just recently got... You know what? No, we'll get to that when we get to that. But just know that he's a piece of shit too. I mean, if that wasn't already clear. Jim Bob later claimed that Hutchins told the entire story and that Josh admitted to Hutchins that he had molested several children and apologized, speaking via a lawyer. Hutchins disputed part of the account, saying he was only told of a single act of incestuous molestation and that he would have responded differently if he had known of additional instances and victims. And then here we go, here's the big McGilla. Hutchins was himself convicted in 2012 of unrelated charges relating to child sexual abuse material and was sentenced to 56 years in prison. A happy ending at least, 56 years in prison. I hope he rots in hell, the bastard. But don't worry folks, we're about, I would say 20% of the way there. In terms of, Josh Duggar's crimes. And this is all before, this is the thing, right? You have a kid who's doing all this, surely just leave him out of the reality television show. Like, if you know he's this kind of fucked up, why are you giving him a Birds and the Bees talk a day before his wedding on fucking television for millions of people to see? For millions of dollars? Leave him out. You know how dangerous and fucked up this kid is. All that makes me think is that they're all like that. Like, they're all just damaged and fucked up to the point where it's not even seen as weird if the kid who molested all of his sisters is shown on TV proudly getting married to someone. Like, this whole family, this whole situation is just so many levels of fucked up. You could probably talk about it for 10 hours and still not even scratch the surface. In 2004 and 2006, the first television specials featuring the Duggar family were released. Holy shit, this is actually fucking insane. So Kaylee Holt loaned a book to one of her friends who was a church member, but the note that she wrote, the angry note that she wrote just to sort of, I don't know, self-therapize, was still in the book from 3 years earlier, and I guess she forgot about it, which was a huge blunder on her part. And Kaylee's friend, discovering the note, called the Arkansas Child Abuse Hotline and revealed the whole sexual misconduct case to them. She then anonymously called Oprah Winfrey's production studio, which the Duggar family was sort of, I guess, scheduled to go on, and they quickly cancelled that appearance. This is insane to me because if she hadn't found that note, there's so much of this that we wouldn't know about. It just makes me wonder, like, how much shit is still hidden from this family. Because this is just one instance of someone being too stupid to take the note out of the book. How many other notes are there of self-therapy? How many things have been hidden successfully? Because there's no way this is the one and only instance and it just so happened to get caught. Springdale police began investigating. Jim Bob told them that when Josh had molested 5 underage girls between 2002 and 2003, when he was 14 and 15 years old. All the family members claimed that there'd been no incidents since Duggar returned to the home, they felt safe in the gaff, and that they had forgiven Duggar for his past behavior. And no charges could be filed because of the July 2003 contact with Hutchins, which was over 3 years before December 2006 rather. And in Arkansas, apparently child sexual abuse charges have to be filed within 3 years of the initial incident, or 3 years of being initially reported to a police officer rather, which are two very different things, to be clear. But either which way, the public didn't know about any of this until 2015, which is probably why they felt so comfortable showing everything on national television, because they thought, as much as we know all this shit, they don't know about it, so they're never going to know how fucked up what we're doing is. Via a Freedom of Information Act request, In Touch Weekly obtained a redacted police report. On May 21, 2015, they published a story about the 2002-2003 events which had previously been unknown to the public. Duggar resigned his position at FRC Action the same day. He stated that he had acted inexcusably as a teen and deeply sorry for what he called his wrongdoings. Because that is a sign of sorrow, to be fair, only quitting once it becomes public information and not because you just feel bad. Like, I'm sorry, if you thought it was inexcusable and you were deeply sorry for it and you acted inexcusably, then you wouldn't have taken that job anyway. You wouldn't have only quit when it became public knowledge how bad of a person you were. And as much as I do think Josh Duggar is a piece of shit, once again, we cannot just blame him. Like, fucking Michelle and Jim Bob and everyone involved in this kid's upbringing has so many things to answer to here. Josh believes that the situation will make it difficult for him to be effective in his current work. We believe this is the best decision for Josh and his family at the time. We will be praying for everyone involved. Yeah, that's what they need. Prayers. Not police, not therapy, prayers. Evangelical Christian prayers. Fucking hell, this is also like the first time a bunch of the family learnt about it as well from this In Touch Weekly story. So Amy Duggar, Josh Duggar's cousin, a year older than him, went over to the gaff and fucking yelled at him, basically. Anyway, now that that's all over and done with, I'm sure we can all agree Josh Duggar is not a particularly good person, but at the very least, he's not a cheater, right? Like, yeah, he's molested a couple people in the past, but that's in the past. He was 14 years old. Currently, he's probably a fine, upstanding citizen, you know, who would never, you know, engage in sexual misconduct or sexual deviancy, such as cheating on his wife. Well, in 2015, the very famous Ashley Madison leak happened. Now, for those who don't know, this was a fucking historic moment in internet culture, I suppose. Ashley Madison was a website that was sort of infamous for, I say infamous, the entire purpose of the website was a place where married people could go to engage in affairs with others. Married men. It was used like 99% for married men. Fuck no, it was 100% married men. So a bunch of weird, degenerate fucking creeps would go on Ashley Madison, they'd sign their credit up for it, they would pay an exorbitant amount of money, and then realistically only chat to bots and not actually end up doing anything. Which is almost the worst part of it all. No one even successfully managed to cheat on it. Because let's be real here, what the fuck kind of woman would ever sign up to Ashley Madison to engage with cheating husbands? I'm sure there are some people willing to do it, but like nowhere near enough to where it has a successful cheat rate, if that makes sense. And that's almost the funniest part about this next part, which is the breach. The breach is a group of sort of hackers who are very anonymous. I don't think anyone knows who they are to this day. Essentially threatened Ashley Madison, saying, if you don't release everything or take down the website, I don't remember exactly what the threat was, but there was an ultimatum where it was like, if you don't do this, we are going to leak the user base of every single person who has signed up for your website. Ashley Madison called what they hoped was a bluff, and it might have been the worst decision that they ever fucking made. Because sure enough, a couple weeks later, the user base, the usernames, every single person who would ever created an account on ashleymadison.com was leaked. And by the way, it didn't matter if you had made an account and deleted it, because even though Ashley Madison promised that when you deleted an account, it's gone forever, gone to the ether, deleted from all systems, yeah, they lied about that. Even those ones were shown. And once again, the funniest part about the breach is that none of these people were even successful in their sexual escapade. It was all for nothing. I wonder if Ashley Madison is still up. Oh, it is. No way, you're kidding me. People still use this. Oh, they've changed the marketing though. It's now about ethical discretion. It was marketed as a place for affairs when this happened. I bet you anything, it's still full of scammers and bots though. The ratio of men to women must be like 100 to 0. Anyway, the reason I'm bringing this up, as I'm sure you can tell because you're not idiots and I really respect that about you, is that Josh Duggar was signed up to ashleymadison.com. On August 20th, 2015, Duggar and his parents released a statement in which he admitted to watching pornography on the internet and being unfaithful to his wife. Now, the pornography part, I don't really give too much of a fuck about. Pornography can be seen as cheating depending on the limits that you have in the relation. It's all about communication. So if you establish a boundary that neither of you will watch pornography and one of you watches it, you've broken that boundary, it's a bad thing to do. In most relationships, I don't think that either party cares too much. Side note though, if you're in a relate, just don't lie about that shit. I would also probably say stop watching porn. There's no way it's good for you. It is a pretty difficult thing to measure in terms of like the harm that pornography does to people, but I would say it's pretty safe to say that overall it's a net bad. Or at the very least, the like inundancy and sheer amount of it that exists is a net bad. Not saying it should be criminalized or anything. I'm just saying that like I think it would be probably best for people if they limited their usage on it, if that makes sense. Anyway, sorry, moving on. This immediately followed the Ashley Madison data breach, which revealed that Duggar's credit card had been used to pay $1,000 for, I can't be honest, it was $1,000. 2 subscriptions starting in February 2013. The subscriptions had been cancelled in May 2015, shortly after the molestation allegations surfaced. So not only was he on Ashley Madison, but he paid a fucking grand for 2 subscriptions. How expensive was this shit? And I guarantee you it didn't fucking work either. He then made a statement. I have been the biggest hypocrite ever. While espousing faith and family values, I've secretly over the last several years been viewing pornography on the internet, and this became a secret addiction, and I became unfaithful to my wife. The last few years, while publicly stating I was fighting against immorality in our country, I was hiding my own personal failures. The reference to pornography was later removed. That's interesting that. Okay, fair enough, I guess. I suppose the family just don't really give a fuck about porn anymore. Oh, then he goes into a rehabilitation center. Yeah, go to the rehabilitation for the cheating and the porn addiction. Not for the actual molestation that you did upon your sisters years ago. Just to be clear, I do think that genuine porn addictions do deserve rehabilitation, but I do think also that actual molestation on your sisters is a bit more of a, I guess, urgent offense. In 2021, there was an arrest, trial, and conviction for CSAM, otherwise known as CP. I'm still qualifying because some people don't know what CSAM is, but it's, I guess, the modern term for CP, which some people feel is an outdated term because the word pornography implies consent. I personally don't feel that way, but I totally understand why the new term is used. I guess before that, actually, there were some sexual assault allegations from a pornographic actress, Dankyjabo, who filed a suit that she was assaulted in like a Philadelphia strip club. That turned out to be bullshit because it was revealed that Duggar wasn't even in Philadelphia at the time. So let it be known that there were definitely people trying to use Duggar's known sexual predation and horrible nature to their advantage to sort of holster some allegations against him to make a quick buck out of them, which is unfortunate, of course, that there's just so many pieces of shit involved in this situation, but this arrest, trial, and conviction here is not one of those moments. On April 29, 2021, U.S. Marshals arrested Duggar on federal charges of receiving and possessing CSAM, child sexual abuse material. Prosecutors believe the images were transmitted in May 2019. Law enforcement became aware of Duggar's illegal activity during an investigation into a file-sharing service that Duggar was known to use, noting that Duggar was the only employee present when the files were downloaded. The federal grand jury's indictment accused Duggar of knowingly receiving pornographic images of children who were under 12 years old. Duggar was arrested and booked into the Washington County Jail. On April 30, 2021, he pleaded not guilty to 1 count each of the charges of receiving and possessing CSAM. If you think that's bad, it gets a lot worse. I'm not going to make too many jokes this section, I'm just going to sort of read it out mainly. The U.S. Chief Magistrate said that if Duggar were to be awarded bail, he would have to be in a residence where no minor is in the home. At that time, Duggar's 6 children were under the age of 11, and his wife Anna was pregnant. The 7th child was born in October 2021. Duggar was granted conditional bail at a bond hearing on May 5th, and he was released from jail and transferred into the custody of a third-party custodian. As part of the conditions for his bail, Duggar was permitted to have contact with his children only in the presence of his wife. He was required to wear an ankle monitor and to obtain a probation officer's permission to leave the third-party custodian's home. Furthermore, he was not allowed access to the internet and could not be inside a residence where firearms were stored. Gerald Faulkner, Special Agent for Homeland Security Investigations, stated the files in the computer were in the top 5 of the worst that I've ever had to examine. We got to bear in mind, by the way, that Gerald Faulkner is not someone who isn't used to seeing CSAM. This is like part of his entire job. It's a very traumatic job having to like scroll through these videos and determine what level of harm each one is so that you can come up with a more fair, I guess, judgment call or sentence. I mean, they detail what one of the videos was, and bear in mind, this is just one of them. Big trigger warning here, by the way, for child sexual abuse. One of the videos allegedly in Duggar's possession is a hardcore video named Daisy's Destruction, created by an Australian murderer and rapist Peter Scully, which depicts the and torture of 3 young girls, including an 18-month-old toddler. Duggar's trial, originally set for July 6, 2021, was rescheduled for November 30. He did not meet an October deadline to accept a plea deal. Duggar's lawyers, trying to get the case dismissed, used procedural nuances that the judge deemed frivolous. Thank fuck for that, by the way. Their further attempts to suppress evidence similarly were denied by a judge. The prosecution wanted to bring up sexual assault accusations made against Duggar when he was a younger teenager. The defense alleged these charges were irrelevant and could prejudice a jury. A pretrial hearing was held on November 18th. Oh, my birthday. Sorry. Sorry. At which the judge demanded an evidentiary hearing. The evidentiary hearing was held on November 29th to determine if Duggar's father, Jim Bob Duggar, and family friend Bobby Holt could testify as prosecution witnesses during his trial. During this 3-hour hearing, both took the stand, with Holt testifying that Josh Duggar had fondled 4 younger girls since the age of 12. The next day, the judge denied Duggar's lawyer's request to dismiss past abuse allegations from evidence. Opening statements were heard, and the first witness, Detective Amber Colmer of the Little Rock Police Department, testified. On December 3rd, an official from the Department of Justice testified that the hard drive in Duggar's computer had been partitioned into 2 sections. One which had Windows installed that he had used mainly for business, and the second with Linux installed, which he used to download, access, and share CSAM. So again, it's not as though this is just something that he happened to come across one time and kept somewhere. This is something that he had a whole system set up to obtain in the safest and most difficult to catch way possible. The accountability software Covenant Eyes had been installed on the Windows side and was set to alert Duggar's spouse when pornography was viewed, but the software could not detect what was accessed while the computer was using Linux. On May 25th, 2022, Duggar was sentenced to 12 years and 7 months in prison. His earliest possible release is October 2nd, 2032. This will be followed by 20 years of supervised release, during which he must register as a sex offender and can have no unsupervised contact with minors, including his own children. He can only access the internet with the permission of his probation officer and must agree to his monitoring of online activity. He was fined $10,000 in order to pay an additional $40,100 in special assessments. He had faced up to 20 years in federal prison and a fine of up to $250,000 for each of the 2 counts. He wasn't done though. He's still, to this day, I think, fighting to change this legal outcome. On January 20, 2022, his legal team filed for acquittal, arguing that the evidence presented in the trial did not support conviction. On May 24th, the federal district court denied his request, fucking obviously. He then tried again on June 3rd, 2022. There was like a 3-judge panel as well, and they just got denied again. And then he reappealed to the US Supreme Court on June 24th, 2024. It declined to hear his appeal, giving no comment. And to this day, of course, any visits that he has with his children has to be supervised. Here's an update for 2022 2025, by the way, when, I mean, he's still pulling nonsense. Right, it's just a video with text, so I'm going to read it out. Actually, I can't just play it because I know some people don't watch. After his appeals were denied, Josh begged the court for new lawyers to help file another motion by June 24, 2025. Josh Duggar asked a judge to appoint counsel, saying he can't evaluate possible trial errors and constitutional issues in his case alone. Josh has maintained his innocence and has been fighting to appeal the conviction since his sentencing in May 2022. So yeah, I guess that's like the official response, is that he's still claiming that he was innocent and that, I don't know, it just ended up there accidentally maybe? And that he had all of these weird tactics to try and avoid getting caught. Just, I don't know, what the fuck were you hiding then? It's just obvious bullshit. It's just, who knows, man? It's fucking Josh Duggar. Anyway, now you know him. We have a look here about the Duggars addressing Josh's cheating as well. This was a while back, of course, because there's a lot more pressing matters at hand now. I mean, this makes the cheating look fucking minuscule. Right, so this video is from 10 years ago, just to be clear.
Former reality TV star Josh Duggar has confessed to cheating on his wife. Now, this comes a day after hackers of the infidelity website Ashley Madison exposed millions of users, including Duggar. This is just the latest scandal to hit the Duggar family, who had the hit TLC show 19 Kids and Counting. You'll recall earlier this year, Josh confessed to molesting underage girls, including his two sisters, back in 2002 when he was 14 years old. TLC has since canceled the show. Josh's parents, Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, released a statement today saying, "When we learned of this late last night, our hearts were broken. As we continue to place our trust in God, we ask for your prayers for Josh, Anna, our grandchildren, and our entire family."
I didn't even notice that. They asked the public to pray for Josh. I think the public have more fucking pressing issues at hand than Josh Duggar. If you're watching this video, don't pray for me. Pray for your own fucking family. And definitely don't pray for Josh Duggar. He can go fuck himself. Although he is 37, so he might just be a bit too old for himself.
Josh also put out a statement. He says, "I have been the biggest hypocrite ever. While espousing faith and family values, I have secretly, over the last several years, been viewing pornography on the internet, and this became a secret addiction, and I became unfaithful to my wife." He goes on to say he is ashamed of his, quote, double life, and asks for forgiveness. Josh Duggar has 4 children with his wife, Anna.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing that shows regret about a double life, it's leading a fucking quadruple life. One of which having, like, not even one, but 2 of which having multiple instances of CSAM in them. I mean, he's just one of the worst fucking human beings ever, really. Like, when you're doing shit like this, you're definitely in the bottom 0.01% of humans ever. Anyway, you guys are not going to believe this, but the more recent allegations that have come out against Joseph Duggar make Josh Duggar look like a saint. Reality TV star Joseph Duggar waives extradition and will face a child molestation charge in Florida. Joseph Duggar is charged with lewd and lascivious behavior on a child under 12 years old, according to an arrest affidavit from Bay County Sheriff's Office in Panama City, Florida. Authorities have also filed charges against him and his wife, Kendra Duggar, 27, in Arkansas. The Tontotown Police Department said in a statement Friday, the charges include 4 counts of endangering the welfare of a minor and 4 counts of false imprisonment. This, of course, comes almost 5 years after Joseph Duggar's older brother Josh was convicted of downloading sexual abuse images, which we know about now. Tontotown police officers contacted sheriff's deputies in the Florida Panhandle on Wednesday, saying they had interviewed a 14-year-old girl who told them that Duggar had molested her several times during a family trip to Panama City Beach, where she was age 9, the affidavit said. And this isn't just a traumatized, damaged child with shit parents doing horrible things to their sisters, by the way, which obviously is still fucking abhorrent, but it is something that can also be placed at the helm or responsibility of said parents. This is a fully grown man, big, like, late 20-year-old man, doing this to a 9-year-old girl. The child's father confronted Duggar about the abuse this week, and the father said Duggar admitted to it, the affidavit said. Police officers in Tontotown had the father call Duggar with a detective on the line, and he again admitted to the actions. The only troubling thing about this, other than what Joseph Duggar allegedly did, is the fact that it happened in 2020. Why in the world would it take over 5 years for him to be accused? Don't get me wrong, if he's guilty, he almost needs to serve time just like anyone else. See, this is a thing that a lot of people who don't know anything about sexual abuse think a lot of the time. The girl was 9 years old at the time the abuse happened. Sometimes people are just too young and naive to truly understand the extent of the abuse that they are going through at the time, especially if it's something like sexual abuse or fondling and they haven't learned enough about that sort of part of life to see themselves in a way that can be enjoyed by adults in like a sick and twisted manner, if that makes sense. Sometimes it takes a couple years to think like, oh shit, that was fucking really, really predatory and horrible what that bloke did to me. How the fuck did I not even notice that at the time? And that can be quite traumatizing for a lot of people. That's only one possibility though. Like there is also a completely reasonable possibility that she knew exactly how bad it was and was just too ashamed to come out about it for a few years and took a bit of bravery or took a bit of counseling. There's so many possible things that could be happening here, but one of those possibilities is not that she's lying about it. Especially because there's a literal confession. Like why the fuck would you comment that when there is a literal confession? You've got his inmate profile here as well, by the way. And then here's his mugshot here for those interested. It's quite a high res one actually. At least he's not smiling or doing any of that stupid shit. Then you've got his wife here, whose inmate profile is also available because she is also a piece of shit, as are most of the people involved in the creation and leadership of this family channel. Which I think is safe to say, by the way, of all the family channels we've covered so far on this channel, the Duggar family is by far the worst one. There's a lot more info about their arrest and release. We'll have a look at this video and then we'll read the article.
Did you hear that I'm out here with, did you hear where I'm at and everything?
I don't know. Should we say it?
I think that'll, well, I don't know. Maybe not. But they've got me a good place to stay that's very private.
Oh, praise the Lord. I'm happy about that.
So,
I was hoping.
yeah, and they're taking.
Well,
So you're doing okay?
I'm trying to keep my spirits up, and I feel like reading the Bible has really been helpful to calm and not think about all the situations. So it's been uplifting. So
Oh, that's good to hear.
this one that I got, it's like some other NLT version or something like that, but it has a devotional in it that has some really good stuff. So.
Oh yeah, very suitable music. Good this. Great. Wow. What a great time for music like that to start fucking playing. I will say, I genuinely actually do find it really interesting how actually devoted they are to the Bible and Jesus and Christianity. Because part of me thought, well, they're such pieces of shit, it must all be a grift, because Jesus is all about being a good person. Like, as much as I'm not a fan of religion, especially evangelical religion of any kind, I really do like Jesus. Like, the way that he's depicted, the lessons he teaches, as much as they're not perfect, and a lot of it is very outdated, especially when it comes to slavery and such, I think all in all, Jesus is pretty fucking great. And very much at his core, the message is just be a good person. I also, by the way, find it incredibly inappropriate when Christians, especially evangelical Christians, use their religion as a means of garnering any type of attention, or especially applause in like a public setting, for example. It's something that a lot of people on the right do when they use appeals to religion and stuff. If they're like questioned on something and they respond with, oh, well, because I love Jesus and he's my savior and he'll save it. It's like, you're fucking about too much here. Because if you were an actual Christian, if you were an actual Catholic, if you actually gave a shit about the teachings of Christianity, you would know that bragging or publicizing your faith in Jesus is a sin. And quite a horrific sin as well. Like, it's very much condemned by Jesus Christ himself. I'll try to find the exact verse, but it's something that all these family channels need to fucking take into account when they keep bringing up how much they love Jesus. Yeah, here it is. When you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and on the street corners to be seen by others. Truly I tell you, they have received their reward in full. But when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. There's a whole bunch of other similar verses. I'm not going to go into all of them. Fair enough, there are a bunch of verses that are like, speak the truth, spread the truth of the gospel as well, whether it be in public or private. But there's a very clear message, in my opinion, against the performative nature that a lot of right-wing grifters use online today, when it comes to Christianity at least. And I think that a lot of these family channels are guilty of that. But these people's references to God and the Bible in a video that they don't know is going to be made public later, at least to my knowledge, that fucks me up a little bit, because it makes me feel like, man, these people really have been brainwashed since the day they were born to believe in all these evangelical teachings, and it's fucked them up royally. And I almost hate to say that, because I'm really not trying to divert responsibility away from them for the fucked up things that they have done, but it's absolutely food for thought, as uncomfortable as it may be, that a lot of the responsibility here, of course, lies on them, but a lot more than maybe we're willing to say also lies on the people responsible for teaching teaching them these teachings and brainwashing them and instilling it from them or in them from such a young age, constantly punishing them wildly, more so for actual molestation, for diverting away from said principles. And whether or not you want to put that responsibility on Jim Bob and Michelle or the actual evangelical churches that they were going to, whether it be the higher ups at said churches, the people who didn't report it to the police, the church elders that were given the story, thinking they can handle it all themselves, I don't know. But all I do know is that there is a whole chain of command of massive pieces of shit that make things like this possible. And we really need to start making a distinction between good, reasonable Christians and evangelical Christians who do shit like this, and promote shit like this, and allow shit like this, and fail in preventing shit like this. Because it gives Christians and Catholics a bad rap in general, which isn't deserved, in my opinion. Should also make it clear that Kendra's charges are not related in any way to Joseph's charges here. As much as Kendra's a piece of shit, like, she did not molest any children, at least.
I'm out here with, did you hear where I'm at and everything?
I don't know. Should we say it?
I think that'll, well, I don't know. Maybe not. But they've got me a good place to stay that's very private.
Oh, praise the Lord.
Weird. Maybe they do know they're being recorded, because the way they're talking to each other, you never would have known that they've been married for all these years and have 4 children together. Like, the communication between them is shockingly horrific. Now, obviously, a lot of the Duggars have responded to this arrest, which is actually quite a big deal, because before this, it was only really Jill Duggar who sort of shouted at Josh back when the accusations happened to him, who's come out against the Duggars as a whole, I suppose. So here's a response, for example, by Jace and Maddie Duggar. We're not going to read it all. It's pretty corporate, I guess. But nonetheless, not an inappropriate response. The same can be said for pretty much every other one, such as this one from Jill Duggar Dillard, who says that they strongly condemn abuse, which I guess is good, right? At least one of the Duggars doesn't like abuse. And you've got another sister here who once again gives a pretty corporate, but again, appropriate response. I think that's pretty much all I have to say about the Duggar family, at least from what, well, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about the Duggar family without being too redundant, I suppose. Like, because this is a family that we could talk about for, I could make a whole channel dedicated to this family. There's so much footage, there's so many episodes, there's so many hours, tens, hundreds, thousands of hours of this family from every different span of time since what, 2010, for example, all the way up until now, where we're still getting developing stories and people responding and all these different angles where bullshit is just being thrown everywhere and it's fucking disgusting every single time. But for now, I think that's pretty much all the big stuff out the way. I just wanted to get this made because I think the Duggar family is by far the worst family channel ever. I honestly, yeah, like, I think they're worse than 8 Passengers even, who previously I thought were the worst family channel on the internet. And I challenge anyone who disagrees with that opinion, by the way. I could genuinely not think of anything worse than this. For those who have made it to the end of the video, though, of course, thank you all so much for watching. I also want to say thank you for all the messages I got in the last video. I sort of mentioned that I was going through a hard time, and I'm feeling a lot better now. No thanks to you, though. Fuck you guys, seriously. I got like one message hoping that I was doing better, which was kind. You didn't need to do that. That's not why I said it. But the majority of messages that I was getting on Instagram, I got like 100 DM requests of people just copy-pasting this goddamn copy pasta, just like begging me to e-date them because they hecking love me. From the last video about fibs where I read it out not knowing it was a copy pasta because I'm actually fucking employed and, or self-employed. Is this employed? Fuck you, this counts as employed. I have a job and I've seen a vagina in real life before, so unfortunately I didn't know that it was a well-known copy pasta, and I didn't know what yandere was, and I didn't know what gacha life was. I'm sorry. I'll try and be a bit more terminally online. It is my job, to be fair. I probably should know these things, to be fair. Oh, also, if this Ashley Madison thing has inspired me a bit. If you guys want a video on Ashley Madison, I'll do it on the second channel. I'll sign up and actually, like, see what it's all about. That could be fun. So, let me know if that sounds fun to you guys, and I might do it, because that does actually sound like it could be pretty funny. But aside from all that, hopefully you all enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye!